bill constitutional? For some answers now, we're joined now by John Patrick Dolan, who is a veteran attorney out in the Los Angeles area. Ken Connor is a lead attorney for Governor Jeb Bush in defending Terri's law. He's also the founder of the Center for a Just Society. Good to see you both. John, let me begin with you. We're a nation of laws. Article 1, Section 9 of the Constitution prohibits bills of attainder, that is to say, bills that single out one person. Isn't this bill, which singles out Terri Schiavo, therefore blatantly unconstitutional?
Well, I think it is, and beyond the bill of attainder analysis, remember, the federal government has certain enumerated powers, and the Constitution is very clear that powers not enumerated in the Constitution are left to the states and to individuals. And I think in this case, you've got an individual decision, that is the husband of Terri Schiavo, and then you've got the state of Florida, which apparently has spent quite a little time and a lot of energy and analysis coming to the point where he is still allowed to remove the feeding tube. So I think it's a very dangerous territory for the federal government to get involved.
And Ken, let me go to you.
For being cruel and unusual.
There is a precedent to all of this, believe it or not. And John, let me put the question to you, because Congress did this once before. I bet you remember, 9 years ago, Congress passed a selective law siding with Dr. Elizabeth Morgan. Remember that? The famous child custody case. The Federal Court of Appeal struck it down saying, and I'm going to quote from the majority opinion here, here it is, Congress's purpose in this case was to assume the role of a judicial tribunal and impose its own determinations of who was or was not a fit parent. John, isn't this the exact same thing, Congress abusing separation of powers?
It is, and we have to remember that this is the kind of matter that should be taken care of either individually or by states. And if really Terri Schiavo was not represented, and if there is some disparity because of that, that can be resolved in the state of Florida. There's no reason why this needs to become a federal matter.
Yeah. It is absolutely not the same thing.
Tell me
Congress
why.
Isn't going to make the decision.
It does make a great point. And look, I would say to everybody who's listening here, this is not an easy case. It's not black and white. But look, in cases of life or death, especially with respect to the death penalty, condemned people have a right to judicial review by the feds for due process. So shouldn't somebody who's going to die imminently here, Terri Schiavo, have the same right?
Well, I think there's a difference, because when you have federal habeas, you're talking about the government executing someone. In this instance, you have a personal
decision. This isn't the same thing, John?
It isn't. It's a personal decision on the part of the people close to her.
Did you read that court order by? Did you read the court order by Judge Greer? It orders the tube taken out. That's killing.
The order directs the withdrawal of nutrition and hydration. He might as well have said, Terri Schiavo shall be hanged by the neck until dead. We would have afforded Ted Bundy habeas review. For heaven's sakes, let's afford it to an innocent person.
What a tough one this is.
Well, it was based on the personal decision, and here's what we ought to get out of this. We should all have a living will, so that we're very clear with our relatives the wishes that we have should we get in the condition of Terri Schiavo.
Thank you both for being with us. Please come back as this continues to develop. We appreciate it. John Patrick Dolan, Ken Connor, thank you.